Alright guys, it's RX and welcome back to my channel. We are back at it again with some Switch reviews, and we are back at it again with some Akko switches, and back at it again with some silent switches. We finished last time with the silent tactile, so how about some silent linears? Today, let's all take a look and listen at the new, or not really new, but the Akko Fairy Silent Linear. But first, a quick message to our channel sponsor, the good people at PCBWay. PCBWay is your one-stop shop for all your PCB prototyping needs. They have a lot of services to offer, such as the Rigid Flex PCB for that more complex PCB prototyping, and if you are working on a project that needs more flex, this should be the service for you. Just add your file, wait for a code, and you're good to go. Now, if you are interested in these kinds of services, check out PCBWay.com, links in the description. So very quick disclaimer again that the switches was sent by Akko for a review, but I wasn't paid to make the video, and of course I give you guys my honest and unbiased opinion about the fairy switches. I've placed Akko's link on my description down below. Let's take a look at the switches. So these are Akko's second silent linear. So they had the first one, it's the Haze Pinks. I did a review on that as well. And as mentioned on the last one, the last review that I made, there's a really niche within a niche when it comes to silent switches. I'm one of that niche. Now, the fairy switches are a 5-pin silent linears, and for the materials, I believe it's using POM and PA combination for the housing and stems. Now, for the spring, it has a 17mm springs with a fairly balanced 50-gram actuation and 60-gram bottom out with a 3.3mm total travel. Switches comes in pre-factory lube and would cost you around $13.99 for 45 pieces. So in today's video, you already know we're not going to do a sound comparison with the stock versus lube, switches is pre-factory lube. But we're going to do some quick sound comparison with other silent linear switches. And for the sound test, of course guys, we're going to use the Vega65. This is like my 130th switch review, and I'll put my configuration for the Vega down below. Now, before the sound test, let's please keep in mind that it will feel different depending on what board you are using. Now, with all that out of the way, please do enjoy the sound test on the Akko Fairy Silent Linear. So that was the sound test on the Akko Fairy Silent switches. Please do let me know on what you think about them on the comment section down below. Let's have some quick discussions, but please keep it civil. And if you also made it up to this point of the video, please, thank you. I would like to say thank you for staying. And now let's talk about my thoughts and opinion about the switches. Let's talk about first my thoughts on the feel. Pre-factory lube wise, it is what it is, and it is what we expect with the pre-factory lube switches from Akko. Pretty smooth out of the box, no scratches and leaf crunch as well. Now linear wise, Akko said it has a 50-gram actuation, but honestly it feels more lighter than that, and I find myself mistyping more often than not. Now, unlike the silent tactiles, this feels a bit more mushier. Like you can really feel it, especially when you bottom out. It's like you can really feel the rubber on these stems. Now, as I use them for almost 3 days now, wouldn't really say these are worse or like a deal breaker compared to the other silent switches, as they still feel consistent enough, but I would say this might be the mushiest silent switches that I tried on our Vega. Now moving on to my thoughts on the sound. Out of the box, I didn't hear any scratches, leaf and spring pings, and comparing it to my other silent switches, these are super dead silent, like no joke. I would say this is where the switches shines out of the other silent linears, because it sounds really muted and perfect for those silent builds that you want to bring your board on your workplace, so it really gets the job done. Overall, if you are really going for that muted build or just need a switch for like your 3-day on-site at your office, then look no further, as I highly suggest the Fairy switches. Again, on the feel, it's gonna be a bit mushy. I mean, it is a silent switch, so it will feel mushy, but it is mushier. But give it some time, you're gonna get used to it. And besides, we are buying the silent switches for it being quiet, so yeah, this is gonna be the one for you. As usual, if you are iffy on the switch, just get one pack first, and if you really like them, you can go from there. And that's it for the video, guys. I hope you all liked the review on the Fairy Silent Switches by Akko. I actually enjoyed reviewing this one, and I hope you find the review helpful. Please don't forget to like the video. I have more switches here and some new keyboards, so stay tuned. Again, please like the video, share if you want, and of course, subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys on the next Soundtest. Peace.